Good morning and welcome to this week's weekly soul guidance with Rebecca from Libra Lights. How are you? I hope that you're doing well. So for this week's weekly soul guidance, I'm just going to use the major arcana cards for this deck, the Never-Ending Story tarot, which is one of my favourite films. Let me know if you've watched it. So the cards are based on that, but it's just the major arcana. I'll put the link to where you can get these from in the description of these comments. It's just on Etsy that you can get them. And for today, what I'm going to do is what's called a 4-pillar reading for whoever's watching this. So these messages are for you. So we're going to ask for a middle card that represents your current energy. And then we're going to look at your spiritual, emotional, physical and mental pillars and get some advice for that. So these messages are for whoever is watching at this moment in time. So the energy that represents you right now is the High Priestess. What a great energy to have. This card's based on Atreyu in the film The Never-Ending Story. The guy that rides his horse called Artax, I think, and is trying to stop the nothing from destroying Fantasia. So Atreyu is a bit like a warrior in this card, which is the same energy that goes with the High Priestess. So current energy wise, our intuition is on point. We're full of mystery, really into fantasy at the moment. Maybe that's to escape everything that's going on in the collective at the moment. High Priestess, really stepping into that feminine power, so feminine energy. Even if you're male watching this, we all have male and feminine sides to ourselves. So feminine side is really on point at the moment. What does that mean? That we're able to do a lot of internal work at the moment, rather than action. Our energy at the moment is allowing us to do that internal work, to close our eyes, to meditate, to go inside, to sit with our feelings, to be nurturing, to be caring. Okay, so that's our energy at the moment. We're really embodying this High Priestess energy. Let's have a look at physically what's going on for us. So what card from the major arcana is coming out for us physically? This card was the other way around in the deck, so we're going to go with this. This is the Judgment card. This symbol, if you watch the film, is a symbol that's on the front of the book, the Never-Ending Story book, and it is called the Orin, I believe. I really want this on a necklace, this charm. But the Judgment card, physically, this is coming up for us physically. So for me, this card intuitively is talking about a rebirth for us. Here in England, we have just gone through the big shift of the change in the monarch. The Queen has died and we've got a new king coming in. So there's a rebirth as a collective here in our country. But also we've just gone through the autumn equinox, haven't we? And that's a big shift in energies. Have you been able to feel that over the last few days? I certainly have. And we've just gone into Libra season as well. So there's a big shift in energies at the moment, which is probably what's bringing on this rebirth. Also with this Judgment card, I feel that a lot of us are judging ourselves unnecessarily. So I can feel intuitively, and Metatron's showing me that a lot of us are going back to the past, to past mistakes that we've made, and ruminating on them and dwelling on them. And that is not going to be conducive to you being in higher frequencies and higher energies, which is where we're all trying to get to. If we can hold ourselves in these high frequencies and energies, we're contributing to the ascension of this planet into 5D. So ruminating on past mistakes is just not doing any good in any way. So you need to find a way of focusing on being here in the present, and dropping the guilt around that and the judgment. So now looking at the spiritual side of ourselves. So let's have a card for where we're at spiritually. The World. Wow. So the World is the last card in the major arcana. It talks about an end of a journey. And again, it ties in nicely with the Judgment card that we got, the Rebirth card. So the World is the last card in the major arcana. The Fool is the first card. And it really goes back to these big shifts that we're going through with the autumn equinox, with Libra season, with the Queen dying and a new monarch coming into place here in my country. It's the end of a phase, and we're stepping in to a new phase. We're stepping into that full energy now. So where is it in your life where you feel like it's the end of something? So for a few of you, it could be the end of a relationship, the end of a job, you're moving on to a next job, the end of a project, you're just finishing tying up a project and you're moving on to a new one. Or it could be that you're starting a new course or you're learning a new skill. Something is coming to a close, but it's not in a bad way. It's in something's become whole. So you've made something whole, and now it's time to step into a new place and a new energy. And it's also remembering to celebrate that you've just completed or finished. Celebrating that phase that's come to an end. But there's a whole new energy coming in here for you spiritually. And looking at the mental pillar then, let's have a card for the mental pillar. Okay. Wow, Wheel of Fortune. So this is all tying in together, isn't it? The Wheel of Fortune talks about fate, talks about big changes in your life. The wheel is turning for us all. Again, the wheel has just turned, with a few things that are happening around the collective, around the world. And new things are coming into play. But I think this is telling us to expect even bigger changes on the horizon. If you remember from the film, this is the rock monster who eats all the rocks. And I just remember him trying to escape through the forest. You can see the nothing coming, and they're all running away from the nothing. Can you remember that? That must be his name. I didn't know that was his name. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. But it cycles, changes, up and down. Fate's coming. There's nothing you can do about fate. Just go with the flow. Allow it to happen. But this is in the mental pillar. So maybe there is a bit of fear of oncoming change. Maybe we're a bit fearful. Let that fear drop and just go with the flow and know that you're protected and held. The universe is like a big safety net. So wherever fate's going to take you next, there's nothing to worry about. Where are we emotionally? Where are we emotionally? Strength. Do you remember this bit in the film? The Southern Oracle, where Atreyu has to walk through, and they're massive in the film, so Atreyu's like tiny down here and he has to walk through. And And as he's walking through, they start to wake up. It's actually quite scary, and their eyes open. And I think they laser down on him, if I remember rightly. So he had to have strength and bravery, really, to walk through here to get to the next part of his journey. And I think what this card signifies, that's for us emotionally. We're feeling a bit like, I can't do this. We've just come through a really difficult period. What more difficult periods are there in the future? I just don't have the strength. Yes, you do. This card is saying, yes, you do. Keep pushing through, even though there's a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unknown. The universe has got you back, as Gabby Bernstein says. And you just need to dig down and find that courage that Atreyu had, who, if you remember, is signified by the High Priestess in the centre, representing you now. So you need to bring out the High Priestess to cope emotionally with this new phase that we're stepping into. So that's the 4 pillow reading. Pillar, not pillow. Now, what I also wanted to do was just a quick grounding meditation, because I don't know about you, but because we're in the middle of all these big energies, like it was new moon in Libra yesterday, we've just gone into Libra season, we've just had autumn equinox, I think we've got a lunar eclipse coming up, and it's just like everything's just going all around, and I think we need to ground big time. So what helps with grounding is black tourmaline, if you have any. Lovely black tourmaline. Any black shungite, if you have any, just wear it as jewellery or keep it in your pockets. This will help with grounding. Any black or red crystals are good for grounding. But what I just wanted to do was a quick grounding meditation. So for this bit, make sure you're in a quiet place, you're not going to be disturbed. So you might want to pause the video and do this bit later when you can be in that quiet space. And I just want you to listen to my voice, but for the next, it's probably going to take 2 to 3 minutes, it's really quick. Just either lower your gaze or close your eyes and just listen to my voice. And we're just going to do a quick grounding breathing meditation. So just starting to take some deep breaths in. And making sure your feet are placed flat on the floor. And really feeling that connection with the ground underneath your feet. And I'd like you now to just place your hands on your stomach. Then take 2 to 3 deep breaths. But as you're breathing in, noticing your stomach rising and falling with each in and out breath. Now, as you keep breathing deeply into your stomach, we're going to bring in a counting exercise now with our breath. So I'd like you to breathe in for a count of 5. And then hold your breath for a count of 5. And breathe out slowly for a count of 5. And just keep doing this. So breathing in for a count of 5. Holding your breath for a count of 5. And breathing out slowly for a count of 5. Breathing in for a count of 5. Holding your breath for a count of 5. And breathing out for a count of 5. And I'm just going to leave you for 1 minute to do a couple of rounds on your own. Great work. So I'd like you now to just stop the breathing exercise and return to breathing normally. And then just bringing your attention back to your body, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, and just gently opening your eyes. And noticing how you're feeling now after taking the time to do that breathing exercise. Do you feel more grounded, more peaceful, more calm? I hope you do. And just remember that you can come back and do this breathing exercise. I'll timestamp when the meditation starts in the video, so you can easily access that part of this video. Come back and do it whenever you feel like you need it during the week. But that's the end of my weekly soul guidance. I hope you all have a lovely week, and I'll be back again next Monday.